I will not tell you not to scroll past this video. And that's because what I'm about to share with you today is a story that it is only by rare privilege many people get to see it. You see this studio that you're looking at right now in the frame? Yes, this studio in the frame. It is like a presenter's shrine, but many people have failed to realize that particular aspect of radio programming and broadcasting. Today, you find people who they don't respect the live studio. They come in and they do anything they like and they walk away with it. The reason why I'm sharing this with you today in this video is basically because I remember back in 2014, a friend of mine whom we had started this together, the journey of broadcasting, she was basically meant to move out of the system and she was shown the door because she actually abused the live studio. Some of you will think that this is something that you should take for levity. But you see, the truth is, the abuse of live studio have actually sent many people packing, and it has really shut down their career in the broadcasting industry. That time I said was around 2014 or 2015, if I remember correctly. This friend of mine, she's always in the habit of coming to the studio and she doesn't always keep to schedule. And I do say to her, I say, girl, the way you don't keep to time in this radio business, it will likely affect you in years to come. She used to think I was playing, or probably I never had an interest at art. But you see, sometimes when you give people advice and you've done that the first, the second, and the third time and it's not working, you just have to let it go. So she kept on repeating that habit of coming to the live studio very late, and she never got to learn some of the basic things that she ought to have learned. She's always out of clock. Sometimes she's already done with introduction before she steps into the studio as a co-host. And it kept me thinking, if you don't come on time to the program, how would you understand the basics of how things work? Just like where I'm sitting right now, there's a console in front of me, there's a screen. You need to understand all of this. So I kept telling her that. And the problem she likely faced, from my own perspective, was if she had stood by to understand some of the things I was telling her, she would have not made the mistake that she made, which as well cost her the job. And today she's not in the broadcasting industry. What was this mistake that she made? This, my friend I'm talking about, is not the only person that made this mistake. But hers is the one I remember correctly as of this time. So one of those days, I was not available to anchor the program. And she came in, she met the marketing manager, and the woman said Ade was not around, that she needed to go on and handle the program alone. As events would have it, she started the program very fine because she'd been understudying me for some time, and she did it very correctly. I must give her credit. But you see, doing it correctly doesn't make you not fall short of certain mistakes, especially when you've not learned. It's like somebody who has been learning how to drive by studying their parents. It's a different rules of engagement when you need to understand how the different turns on the road work. So back to this, my friend's story. Now, what mistake did she make that day that really cost her a job? She had gone on a break and she forgot to bring down the microphone volume. You know, in every radio station we have the console, and connected to your console is your mic 1, just like this, your mic 2, mic 3, and your mic 4, depending on how many mic or microphone your studio can accommodate. So on the console, She had actually increased the fader for the song to play, and the song was going on, but she did not bring down the other fader for her microphone. During the process, she thought she was alone in the studio. And the nature of radio broadcasting or anything that has to do with broadcasting is words that you say are very sensitive out there. So she kept on saying a very wrong set of words, some words that were a little bit harsh, that were tribalistic against a certain tribe. As she was saying those words, she thought it was only music that the listeners were getting to hear. Unfortunately, the words were also accompanying the music, and she was very vehement about it. Little did she know that some of the management team were recording everything so that it doesn't seem as if they were trying to just take her off her ground and destroy her livelihood. So they were recording it because even in the law court, if you must drag somebody before the judge or the jury, you must present evidence. So they recorded everything. But before they had gone in to confront her, they called me and said, "Hello, Ade, your friend had done A and B. What should we do about it?" I was pained inside, and I was deeply annoyed because this is somebody I had invested so much in, and I believe so much that she could likely have been here right now with me. So I told the management, I said, "Please, temper justice with mercy." Before I could come to work the next day, I heard she's already been sent packing. And that was a very disturbing stage in her life, looking at the fact that she's also a young person and she needed to move on. You see, for those of you who are just coming into the arena of broadcasting, this is what I have to tell you. You have to be very, very careful when you're in your live studio. The live studio is a presenter's shrine. And sometimes you think that your fader is down and that nobody is listening to you, but that is the time that you want to make the greatest of the mistakes. So how can you avoid this basically? The best way to avoid this is to make sure when you're in your live studio and you're on air, restrict yourself to certain things that you shouldn't say. Certain things that must not come out of your mouth, you should find a way to restrict yourself to it. Now I get to understand what the magic bullet theory was talking about, because it's like a bullet. Once you send it out there, you cannot take it back. Anything that you've said, it has already gone to make its impact. The radio that we see is very sensitive. It's not only about the voice. Radio builds messages in people's head. And the message that radio builds in people's head is one of those reasons why the likes of Marshall McLuhan stated that the medium is the message. So the medium is the message. It doesn't matter how you see it. It doesn't matter what you do. Why I'm doing this video today is for those of you who are already in the system, and even though you are not doing broadcasting, you have to understand that the live studio, the business of broadcasting, the business of talking is a very sensitive business. So that tomorrow, you would not have any recourse to say you were not told. Yes, and I don't want your case to be like that of my friend. For the fact that I'm talking to you does not actually mean that being in this business for decades now, there are days when temptation don't come. But you see, that is where professionalism steps in. When temptation comes for you to misbehave in your live studio, which is also the presenter's shrine, how do you handle it? How do you get to tackle it? All of these questions are what you should ask yourself. So for intending broadcasters today, I want you to understand that from the screen that is facing you to your console, to your keyboard, to your headset. Everything that is in the live studio is a shrine. It's part of the apparatus that make up the shrine. So you should respect this live studio. Respect it. There's also a young man, I remember correctly. His was a different case because he had to use the wrong words on air. And this also goes to tell some of us who think that because we handle freaky radio programming, probably what you do is on music and all of that, you have the license to use certain words. There are words that should not be used on radio, especially in today's world where words are now sensitive. Sometimes you want to introduce a program on radio and you say, ladies and gentlemen, not everybody will find that funny. So I want you to take a leaf from my friend's story today and understand that the live studio is the presenter's shrine. And when you begin to understand this, you will know why discipline has kept some people like myself for so long in this industry, and we're still pushing on. I wish you the best in your journey, and I'm very sure that if you had listened to this today, you would understand. I did a video already on Shannon Weaver model of communication. You can find out in my playlist. It's on my video. And I've also done some other videos for you to understand how communication can save your life. There's another one on how communication should be used in order not for you to be an insult to a tribe. My name is Adekunle Adejumo. I've been doing broadcasting for over a decade, and it's my passion. And I want to use this message to reach out to you out there. So if the message that you have listened to today, coupled with the story of my friend, had actually taught you something, let's get to know what you think in the comment section. And don't forget to subscribe, turn on the notification button, and make sure to hit that like button. Once again, my name is Adekunle Adejumo, and if you're on your way to being a broadcaster or you're already one, I wish you all the best. It is an odyssey. Some other time, I'll bring you another story concerning another sector in this broadcasting, because it's a long journey. And even at this very moment, when I am recording this video, there's another story to tell. Take care of yourself and stay out of trouble. Please like, share, and subscribe.